Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by Apex Irons from Callaway.
Hello and thank you for watching this Golf Central special. I'm Cara alongside Paige, Mackenzie, and we are going to waste no time, I should say, and check straight in with the AIG Women's Open, because what a day it was. The opening round in Carnoustie, Scotland. We'll show you how things look. There's a three-way tie on top, including the world number one and reigning Olympic gold medalist Nelly Korda making her first start since Tokyo. She's tied with Madelyn Sagstrom and, interestingly, Se-Young Kim. We'll get to that in a moment, but first let's get Nelly Korda's reaction after an opening round of 67 today.
Yeah, I played well, took advantage of kind of the calmer day. It was definitely chillier in the morning. I'm not used to that coming from Tokyo. But I think I just took advantage of all my opportunities and played some solid golf.
And two birdies in the three closing holes, which are notoriously difficult. I mean, that must have been a real boost for you.
Yeah, I cut it a little close on 17. I was a little nervous coming off of that tee box. But yeah, I just hit a really good 6-iron into probably 6 feet. And the next hole, I hit a really solid drive, which is really important on that 18th to make sure you don't, it doesn't drift out right into the bunkers. So I hit 2 really good shots and I gave myself another look for birdie.
And how important is it to get that momentum, making such a nice score on the first round? Does that give you that good momentum going into the sort of next rounds? For sure. Since it's a calmer day, I think the scores will be a lot better. So, if you can take advantage of the calmer day and then see, you never know at British what kind of weather you're going to get. So if you take advantage of these days and score lower, then I think, it's a good stepping stone into the next few days.
No doubt Nelly is enjoying the best year of her career. Broke through with her first major at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. We mentioned what happened at the Olympic Games, but she's reminded you of someone that she's tied atop the leaderboard with, right?
Well, Se-Young Kim, and the dominance that she had in 2020 is very similar to that of what we've seen from Nelly Korda this year. Se-Young Kim had 2 wins in only 9 starts in 2020 and led a lot of the categories. So I wanted to look at how they compared. You can see Nelly a little bit longer off the tee, but Se-Young Kim a little more accurate. Both great ball strikers, iron players into the greens, both strong putters. And then look at that scoring average, 68.69 and 68.89, both very, very strong, which is why, of course, Se-Young Kim was Player of the Year last year. Why Nelly Korda will likely be, unless something happens, the Player of the Year this year on the LPGA Tour. The reason also that it was interesting that now we have both of them at the top of this leaderboard is when you compare the major championship scoring over the last 2 seasons, that 2020 season and this season. Those are the 2 that are the very best on the LPGA Tour. Nelly Korda leads the way at 37 under par. Se-Young Kim just 3 shots behind her in second place in that category. So both players playing strong golf, but also rising to the occasion at the toughest majors.
And it's interesting that at 23 years old, Nelly particularly is going for her second major championship in the same calendar year. Hasn't been done by anyone since Yanni Seng in 2011, which was, of course, the only other time that this major championship was played at Carnoustie. The last American, though, to do it, Mickey Wright, in 1958. Just put into perspective how good she has been this year.
To me, the strength, you can look at it from the physical side, you can look at it from the statistic side, but to me, it's rising to the occasion when the moments are the biggest, when the spotlight is on her. And she's done that throughout her career, but I think going into the Olympics, for example, as world number 1, when all of the expectation and all of the eyeballs was watching her, and she stepped up, and she at one point held a 6-shot lead in that championship or in that competition, and then to come here. Same idea, world number 1 with all of the expectation in the spotlight. Since the U.S. Open, where she missed the cut, she's had 4 starts. She's won 3 of them. And only 18 people had beat her at Evian in the other start. So she's just played extraordinary golf since then.
Yeah, that US Women's Open was kind of an anomaly, really. And as Brandel pointed out in our post-game coverage on Golf Central on Golf Channel tonight, she changed that passing grip. She's left-hand low. It's very successful. So she is delivering, not only as world number 1, but as an Olympic gold medalist. It's fun to see. Meanwhile, the PGA Tour began the FedEx Cup playoffs this week, the first of 3 legs at the Northern Trust. That has returned to Liberty National for the first time since 2019. And as Paige alluded to in our coverage earlier, this turned into a bit of a 2-horse race in the afternoon, albeit only Thursday. Justin Thomas, Jon Rahm, both with 8 under par rounds of 63 today. Let's get their reaction.
It's extremely difficult. The fact that me and Justin shot a low score like that. It shows that it's possible, but we both played really, really good golf. I'm assuming he did as well, because I feel like I played great. If it ever looked easy, is again due to ball striking. I kept putting it in the fairway. Like from the fairway, you can be aggressive. You can hit it as low as you want into the wind, and that ball is going to stop on the green. And I think that's, again, the advantage of using the wind in your advantage. But if the wind stays up like this, let's not expect everybody or all of us to be shooting 8 under every single day, because that's just not going to happen. But scores are out there, right? I think we just showed it, and that's mainly due to the fact of the softness of the greens. But it probably felt a lot tougher within us than it appeared outside. But, you know, at the end of the day, when you're striking it well, it's going to seem easier.
I used the U.S. Open. I changed. It's the same exact putter, it just has different milling. It's no smooth face versus a deep mill, so it has a little different feel, a little different sound. But no, ever since the U.S. Open, it's been sitting in my office.
Go ahead, Rex. Go ahead. What made you pull it back into the bag this week?
You're gonna laugh at me. I had my AJGA event last week in Louisville. Went right from Memphis. Went there Sunday night. Spent Monday. Went out and kind of saw some of the kids as they're playing their practice rounds. And Tuesday was a junior am. But my dad had a couple students, and I went out to go. There's a girl, Abigail, that he teaches that I went out to go see because I played a couple rounds with her. She's a really good player, and she was playing with another 2 girls, a girl that my dad teaches, and then a boy. And he was using the putter, pretty much my putter, that Scotty Cameron, the line that we kind of came out with, and he was like, when are you going to start using, or when are you going to use it again? Are you still using the long neck? And I was like, yeah, I am. And I was kind of explaining it. And he's just like, well, when are you going to start using it again? And I found myself defending myself to like this 15-year-old. And I was like, why am I not using this thing? I've had a lot of success. It's not like I'm making a lot of putts with what I have. And, if you're putting well, any of us can go out and putt with anything. But I don't know, it just kind of hit me. I'm like, this kid's got a point,
You might be writing that kid a check if he goes on to win the FedEx Cup, thanks to the putting change. That was a big part of what happened today, but also fairways have been a narrative for Justin, and I suppose lack of them to an extent. How vital is that, do you think, in his game as well?
Well, it was interesting to kind of hear Jon Rahm talk about that in this week and how important it is to hit fairways here, because that has been an area of opportunity, we'll call it, for Justin Thomas over the season. In fact, it's been his worst season as it relates to driving accuracy. He ranks 177th on the PGA Tour this season, and why that matters specifically for Justin Thomas is the difference when he does hit the fairway. He is one of the best on the PGA Tour in fairway proximity. He's top 10 in that category, but out of the rough, not nearly as strong, 127th. So for him, you're looking at a 16.5-foot differential if he misses the fairway. So that was something I was keeping an eye on today. I felt like he did drive the ball well in spite of missing the very last fairway. But even so, even though I felt like he drove the ball well, from the fairway, 23 feet, from the rough, 41 feet, an 18-foot differential again. So just a few more fairways, and you might see Justin Thomas having a few more birdie opportunities.
Yeah, that is everything you need to know. Okay, great point, Paige. Thank you. Those two lead on the PGA Tour, and it all kicks off again 6 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow for the Women's Open from Carnoustie, Scotland, here on Golf.